Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The head of the Women's Tennis Association has cast doubt on an email released by Chinese state media attributed to tennis player Peng Shuai. The tennis star has not been heard from since she made sexual assault allegations against a top Chinese government official 2 weeks ago. In the email, Ms. Peng purportedly says the allegations are not true. In response, the head of the WTA said, "The statement released today by the Chinese state media concerning Peng Shuai only raises my concerns as to her safety and whereabouts." A state of emergency has been declared in the Canadian western province of British Columbia after a major storm cut road and rail links in the region. The Canadian Armed Forces are being deployed to help thousands of stranded residents who've been trapped.
Currently headed to British Columbia.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has pledged assistance during a visit to Washington, D.C. and said troops would help rebuild. It's feared the number of people confirmed to have died could rise rapidly.
Flow freely now.
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has condemned the violence against pro-democracy protesters in Sudan and reiterated a call for the ousted Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok to be reinstated. It's after security forces in Sudan shot dead at least 15 people on Wednesday and wounded dozens of others. The protesters have been demanding a full handover to civilian authorities and for the leaders of the October coup to be put on trial. Hundreds of Iraqis camped for weeks at Belarus's border with the EU have been flown back to Iraq, that's according to the country's foreign ministry. The Belarusian Telegraph Agency showed footage of crowds of migrants waiting for a flight home after failed attempts to cross into the EU. Some 430 migrants, mostly Iraqi Kurds, took the flight to Erbil in Iraq's autonomous northern Kurdistan region and then on to Baghdad. Groups in favour of and opposed to the government of Bolivian President Luis Acra have clashed in La Paz after the repeal of a law against so-called illicit profits and terrorist financing. The law recently sparked protests throughout Bolivia and a partial strike for 9 days in the Andean country. Critics allege the law is a government ruse to seize private property. More than 24 aid workers will go on trial over their role in helping migrants reach Greece between 2016 and 2018. The defendants face a raft of charges including espionage, forgery and the unlawful use of radio frequencies. Human rights groups have condemned the trial as being politically motivated, and Amnesty International has called the charges farcical. Britain's Prince Charles and his wife Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, have arrived in Cairo, where they were welcomed by Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The couple landed at Cairo airport before being formally greeted by Sisi and his wife at the palace and see the pyramids of Giza during their visit. An invasion of crabs has caused road closures on Christmas Island just off Australia. Thousands of red crabs emerged from the forest to begin their annual migration journey to the ocean on the island off the coast of Western Australia. There's even a crab bridge built to help the creatures cross the road. Millions of crabs leave their homes at the same time every year and start marching towards the ocean to mate, creating a flame-red spectacle on the island. And finally, a new musical about Britain's Princess Diana has officially opened on Broadway. Diana the musical had been set to open on March the 31st, 2020, but the debut was delayed due to the pandemic. A film version of the production, which chronicles Diana's courtship and marriage to Prince Charles and eventual divorce, debuted on Netflix earlier this year. Broadway stars, including actress Olga Meredith, hit the red carpet before the show, saying she was thrilled to be back.
It's an industry that employs so many people and it brings so much joy to so many people. And it's New York, you know? What is New York without Broadway?
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.